Let me explain to you what the purpose of the class is. We're then going to go around the room a little bit. There's a videotape going, so just be careful. So whatever you say is being recorded for posterity. It will be uploaded God knows where on the internet, and someone will therefore, pull 2 words out of context and ruin your chances for success for the rest of your life. The purpose of the class is like this. There's nothing to take notes on. Put your pencils, don't take notes. Just listen, man. Listen, learn with your brain, not with your pencils. Okay? So there's something, I'm saying something real important, I'll tell you. Okay? The purpose of the class is to teach you how to analyze a Parsha of the CHUMASH. We're not going to do Parsha Shavua. You can buy books and read Parsha Shavua. You don't need to do Parsha Shavua. If you can read English, you can do Parsha Shavua. It doesn't take any brains to do that anymore. Okay? We're not going to just simply read and translate, buy an art scroll, and save yourself a lot of time and read and translate. Nor is this going to teach you some really pithy, relevant life lesson which will make you a better person. Buy a tape. There's plenty of pithy life lessons to make you a better person. We're going to try and do the most irrelevant story absolutely humanly possible. The purpose is to learn how to learn CHUMASH intelligently. I want to take some of the stories which should be famous. This is supposed to be somewhat of an intermediate here from what I understand. Right? We're going to take stories that are famous, that I'm sure you've heard of, and we're going to do them inside carefully and slowly, teaching you how to analyze the pasuk, how to break it down, what are the problems, how to analyze a Rashi, how to contrast Rashi with Ramban, with Or Chaim, with Sforno, with Kli Yakar, an occasional Malbim, possibly, depending on the particular story, and sometimes some Shimshon Fall Hirsch. We're going to be taking a story, we're going to be doing it in depth. It'll probably take us, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classes to finish any particular story. It basically will assume that you're here every week. We'll start a real quick review of, where we last left our heroes and what we've done. So if you've missed a week, you can probably catch up, but you can't come once, disappear for 4 weeks, then pop back in the middle. That's a complete waste of time for the purpose of the class. We are going to assume, and again, I hugely apologize because I have no idea who's sitting here in front of me, but we're going to assume that you have no problems with the concept of Torah Mishamayim. The good Lord spoke to Moshe. Every single word in the CHUMASH was dictated by God to Moshe very carefully. If you don't believe that, then go do Discovery or something, and they'll prove it to you. It's not all that hard. We do it in grade 10 in my high school. It's not all that difficult. But that's what we're going to be assuming. We will be, obviously, as we come across, you can't learn a story in the CHUMASH without discussing the concept of the hashkafa. My point being is that once you see how you learn it carefully and you see the different ways to translate the story, the different ways to understand what's going on, the lessons that will come out will be infinitely different. We will eventually, somewhere along the line, touch upon the obvious problem of why didn't God just write it clear in the first place, and you wouldn't have 3 different versions of what the story was, right? It would obviously mean you couldn't give this class, but I'm sure God had better reasons than that, and we will eventually touch on that, but not right away. You're always free to ask any kind of questions that you want. Do understand if I decide it's not relevant, I'll say, great question, too bad, right? And we'll just move on. This is going to be a text class. I'm going to be giving you out source sheets. I chose to basically, I had no idea how many people were going to come. We have all Hebrew source sheets. Let me just go, just by a show of hands, how many people here let's start with this. How many people in this room read Hebrew? Great. How many people can read the CHUMASH and basically translate it without an art scroll? Basic, approximate translation, sort of. How many people here can read Rashi text, Rashi letters? How many people would be comfortable following if we're doing a Rashi inside without any English? How many people would have no real need for an English Rashi? Right? How many people would have no need for an English Ramban? Great. Okay, how many people would be insulted if you had to sit with an English Rashi because you like to prove to everybody you can do it without the English? Okay, you don't have to raise your hands for that. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's start. We're going to take the story of the Spies. Everybody familiar with the story of the Spies, right? Most of the Spies, right? Just a little context. Did I tell you to look it up in the chat? Thanks. All right, we're going to do the story of the Spies. Do we remember Jews got out of Egypt, and they eventually get themselves to Mount Sinai, and God speaks. They have a little digression there with the problem with the golden calf. They move on. They build a Mishkan. They're rolling along. They're on their way through the desert. They're getting pretty near to the border of the land of Israel, and they send out spies. Let's go. Story of the spies. Whose idea was it to send out spies? Whose idea was it to send out spies? Whose idea was it to send out the spies?
The Jewish
the Jewish people? The Jewish people? Hashem. You say Hashem, you say the Jewish people.
Well, Hashem said, if you want, go send us.
Oh, God said, if you want, you could send us. What did God think about the idea?
He didn't say.
He didn't say.
He didn't say. God was neutral.
Yes.
So God had to tell them, if you want, you can send us spies, because if God wouldn't have said that, they wouldn't have known that if they wanted to, they could. Why did God have to tell them they could if they wanted to? What would have been wrong about it anyway? Good question. Okay, you got to check. Okay, so God said they could. You think God said they could, or God said they should? I also read Hebrew. God said they should, or God said they could? I asked. God said you have to send out spies. You're on American Airlines flight, da-da-da-da-da, you will have a nice flight. That's a prediction, that's a hope, that's a command, you will have a nice flight. Did God say you got to send out spies? God said if you want to, you could send out spies. God said I'm predicting you will send out spies. What's your opinion?
You will, you have to.
You have to. So you're saying, absolutely, everyone's guessing here, man, all right? Good. So you say that God said you have to send out spies. You said that God said if you want, you could send out spies. Excellent. And anybody say that this was not God's idea in the first sense, the Jewish people just drummed up on it all by themselves?
Yeah.
Yes. You say the Jewish people came up with the idea.
So
good. Excellent. So either we have the Jewish people thought of the idea, we said God said you have to do it, or God said you could do it. Those are three very different opinions. We'll find out in a minute. Was this a good idea or a bad idea to send spies? Good idea or bad idea? Well, of course, if God said you have to send the spies, it must be a good idea. But assuming it wasn't God's idea, if God said you could, bad idea. Well, you can't say it's a bad idea. God told him to do it, right? Bad idea. Okay, fine. So bad idea. So what was bad about it? Let me ask you a different question. Why are we sending spies? Well, what was the purpose of the spies? I'll give you a few possibilities. We could be sending out spies because we don't know if we want the land or not, who said it's any good, I'm going to check it out. Check it out, see if it's any good. If it's good, we'll take it. If it's not, then drop dead. That's one reason we could be sending out spies. We could be sending out spies saying, well, of course, we want the land, but, we got to know how to conquer it, so we got to know what to do. Send out spies, sending drones, right? Intelligence, right? God's operation, right? What they do, man, they have intelligence. They knew where the bunkers were, man. So we're going to send out spies. So we can either go to see if it's a good land if we want it or not, or the spies could be to see how we're going to conquer it. By show of hands, how many people assume that the purpose of the mission of the spies was to see if it's a good land or not, do we even want it? How many people say that was the purpose of the mission? Don't be shy, don't be shy. Whatever you're saying is all right and all wrong. Don't be shy. Excellent. How many people say that the purpose was a military purpose to see how are we going to conquer this? I'm going to be really nice and say how many people did not vote. We're not going to do that for the moment. Excellent. Okay, now let's go back. And the video guy's also allowed to vote. You're part of the cheer, man. Now,
so it could be both.
It could be both. How many people say it was both? Okay, I know. I saw you raise your hand a few times. Okay. Now, let's go like this. If the purpose of the mission was to see how we're supposed to conquer it, is that a good idea or a bad idea? Good idea, bad idea, good idea, bad idea. Anybody who haven't heard from? Good idea or bad idea?
Good idea.
Good idea. So therefore the sending of spies is a great idea. Excellent idea. Excellent. Anybody disagree with that?
I think that it would be a good idea if that was the purpose, but that's not what actually...
I'm sorry. We don't know what the purpose is. We have a debate in the room what the purpose is. Saying we're going with this way. If the purpose of the mission was military, so one position on the table is, and that's a good idea. Everybody agree that's a good idea? If it's military, it's a good idea?
It could also be a bad idea.
Why is it a bad idea? Hashem
promised the land.
Hashem promised the land. You want to be safe, man? God said go conquer the land, go conquer the land. What is the matter with you? Think God knows you guys? You got any miracles? Did they send out spies to see how to cross the sea? Did they send out spies how to get out of Egypt? Did they need spies to do 10 plagues? You got to have faith. Faith, right? Call 1-800. Uppers are ready. Answer your call right now. Just have to have it. You have to have faith. So on one hand, you can say, bad idea. Don't they have any faith? On the other, you can say, I can't rely on miracles. You got to have that military thing of it. Excellent. Let's do the other way around. Oh, we're going there. Let's do the other way around. What if the purpose of the mission was to see whether it's a good land or not a good land? Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad
idea. Why bad?
Hashem promised him the land. Why is he promising him that?
Because God probably gave him a good land. Excellent. So, watch this. So we don't know yet whose idea was to send the spies. Either God commanded them to send the spies. If God commanded them to send the spies, why would he command them to do that? For what purpose?
To militarily scout the land.
Just military scout the land. Or it could be the Jewish people wanted to send spies because they weren't sure if it was good land or not, which would seemingly be a stinky thing to do. Or they want to send us spies to see how to military conquer it, which could be a good idea. Or and maybe they're supposed to have faith, could be a bad idea. Right? Yes, sir?
I don't think if you're going for the military purposes, it can't be a bad idea.
Can't be a bad idea.
Because even though God promised you the land and said, go conquer it, He's not saying conquer it immediately and don't send spies. He's saying conquer it. So you're saying, okay, we're just going to conquer it smartly.
Okay, we'll see. Absolutely possible. Now, by the way, what did Moshe think of this idea? Since nobody said here that Moshe thought of the idea, what did Moshe think of the idea? Did Moshe think it was a good idea? Or did Moshe think this was a bad idea?
Bad idea.
Bad idea, bad idea. Now, of course, you said God told him to do it, so it couldn't be a bad idea. Bad idea? What did Moshe think? You don't remember.
I don't remember.
Trying to go back. Bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Excellent. So Moshe said Moshe thought it was a bad idea. Right? So either God said you could if you wanted to, Moshe said bad idea, or the Jewish people said, yo, let's send spies. And Moshe said bad idea. So what did Moshe do when the idea came up? Since he thought it was a bad idea, what should Moshe have said to them?
Don't do it.
Forget about it. Right? That's what Moshe said. Is that what Moshe did?
No.
No. Does Moshe get blamed at all for the sin of the spies? No. Did Moshe let them do it? Yes. Did Moshe know it was a bad idea? Yes. Was it a bad idea according to most people in this room? Yes. So Moshe let them do a bad idea, and yet he doesn't get blamed at all. Does that seem fair? No. Moshe doesn't get blamed at all. By the way, what was the sin of the spies? By the way. Okay, so it was a bad idea to go, or maybe it was a good idea to go. Either they were looking to see if it was good land or bad land, or they were going to see how to conquer it militarily. So what was the sin of the spies in the end? Did the spies lie? Did the spies lie? No.
They gave their opinion that it was unconquerable.
They gave their opinion that it was unconquerable. Based on
they saw that the people living there, they said it was a great land, but the people who live there are like giants.
Two tribes. Yes. So everybody agree to that? You don't have to agree just because he speaks with conviction. Right? Yeah, you might absolutely, but he's not good. That's good. You're great. Right? I like this guy. What's your name, by the way?
Richard.
I'll never remember anybody's name. We'll ask every once in a while your names. I'll never remember anybody's name. Okay, so according to Richard, they told the truth that it was a great land, but they claimed that it was unconquerable because of the giants that they saw. Right? Well, forget, of course, the two good guys. Now, was it true? Did they really see giants?
Literally giants?
Did they see giants? Did they lie? Did they tell the truth about what they saw?
They told the truth.
They told the truth about what they saw. But they just gave an opinion that it was unconquerable. Everybody agree with that?
Didn't they say that the land destroys its own?
Yes, they did.
So
They forgot that.
Okay.
So they did. But did they lie? Was that
No,
the truth?
it was their perception of what they saw.
Was their perception of what they saw?
They might have interpreted it wrong.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. So now, do remember, our issue is like this. First of all, who thought of this idea in the first place? God thought of the idea, right? The people came up with the idea. By the way, if the people came up with the idea, and if the people came up with the idea, and most people here think that Moses did not like the idea, what did God think about the idea? God didn't care, many people said here, right? God said you could if you wanted to. So God thought it was like a...
If that's what
you want to do, you can. So God thought it was an okay idea.
No, he just wanted to let them exercise their free will. He didn't think it was a good idea.
Oh, God knew it wasn't a good idea.
He wasn't going to stop it.
How did they know that God knew it was not a good idea? Did Moshe know that God knew it wasn't a good idea?
Probably yourselves.
What did Moshe think God thought about the idea? What did Moshe think God thought about the idea? Did Moshe ask God? That's a yes or no question.
Didn't he? How did Hashem say that?
Yeah,
send yourself.
He didn't.
Right.
He presumably.
I'm asking the question.
Presumably Hashem didn't volunteer.
That's a yes or no question. Did Moshe ask God what to do? The people, except for the opinion that says that God came up with the idea himself. Most everybody else believes that the Jewish people came up with the idea. Moshe personally thought it was a bad idea. Now that the Jewish people came up with a bad idea, did Moshe ask God, "Yo, God, what do I do?" Did he ask him what to do, or did he just move along on his own? How many people feel here he asked God what to do?
Yeah.
Excellent. If he asked God what to do, what did God tell him?
It's up to you.
God said it's up to you. Did he have any inkling whether God thought it was a good idea or a bad idea? Or God really said, "I'm not saying." Did God give him any inkling as to whether it was a good idea or a bad idea?
Yeah, he did.
He did. And what inkling did he give him?
He was a negative thing.
Negative. Okay, so I'm going to roll with this. You look so familiar, I just can't remember your name.
Ron Calypso.
All right. Hi there, Ron. So according to Ron, Moshe did ask God. God clearly indicated to him that it was a bad idea. And nevertheless, what did Moshe tell the people?
So Moshe wanted to give the people, and if you want to buy a camel, and they say, "Can I take it up the hill?"
So Moshe let them do it.
Let them do it.
That's generally the way he handled the people in the 40 years of the desert.
No.
No. Oh, so let's read the story inside and let's see. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to do. I will make more English sources for you next week. I have, for those who really are desperate, right, I have 2 English source sheets. Okay, so one will go that way, and one will go that way. We're on to be a nice guy in heaven. Otherwise, we have Hebrew source sheets. This is going to be your Makros Gedolos Chumash with your Rashi and with Ramban and with all sorts of other fun stuff. I will make more next week. If you're comfortable and you want to use this one and keep it, so that you can use it, put your name on it, write notes. These staples are going to be on the right-hand side, and it starts with Chumash BaMidbar. Okay. So the staples are on the right-hand side. Right-hand side from the number. There you go. Parsha Shelach. Okay, so if you have a sheet that you want to keep, that's fine. I will make more English ones next week and some more Hebrew ones. If you want, you can take both, because the English are not going to do you a huge amount of good once we start doing Sforno, Sissei, Chachamim, and everybody else. Okay? At any given time, don't be shy, even though that sounds like I just ride roughshod over all the things I don't want to hear. I think that's true. But please, if I'm using words that you don't understand, you have to raise your hand and ask. You will gain 2 things that way. A, you will understand. B, you'll salvage the people that are too embarrassed to ask. Thank God somebody asked. I don't know what that kid's talking about. Okay, because I do not know what level you're at, so I'm going to shoot up. And if you say, like, I don't know, you keep on using that word, I don't know what the word is, like, you gotta just say something, okay? Because otherwise no one's going to know, and we have no idea, and I have no idea what your backgrounds are or anything. I could just judge you superficially, but that would be disgusting, okay?